Hello everyone, my name is Dark Phantom, and oh no! Phantom's playing the wrong game! Well, actually, I've got something I'd like to show you guys today. Psychofrip was digging through his files, and he found two early maps here that I was able to compile. So we're going to go ahead and show them now. And we're using SPA1 because I mapped them to SPA1 and SPA2. To start off, we got Rebels and Empire, and this is SPA1 from 2/11/2005. So we're going to go ahead and spawn in here. The first thing you're going to notice is that this interior looks completely different and there's no shield. Well, that would be because, one, this was very early on in the game's development, and it was kind of like a proof of concept. Most of the stuff that's in here was used very early on. They didn't even have the shields working yet for this map. I can't even get people to spawn, and I'm not sure why, but I didn't try that hard. I figured it would be easier to show the map as is with just me. We have the command post right here. They are uncapturable, but you can still change classes at them. I think these are supposed to be turrets, but I was not able to get in them, and I didn't try that hard. But there are turrets on the outside that I believe they link to, and I could show them once I go and fly around. And then we come over here, and there's a second hangar filled with the same ships that we had before. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fly out here in our beloved X-Wing, and we're going to check out the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser. Now, the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser, this is very clearly an early rendition of it. It's a flat texture the whole way down. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna bet that they just repurposed the dome model and hadn't got to the point where they were texturing them yet. But if you look, I believe these are the turrets that would be tied to those consoles. Now, if you look up here, we have some frigates that are also using flat textures with a little bit of variation on them. And some Rebel transports that are probably from Hoth or Yavin or wherever. We're going to fly a little bit further over here, and the Imperials have two different types of cruisers. We have this one right here that actually has the auto turrets on it. To be completely honest, these don't look fleshed out at all. But you can still destroy the auto turrets. They will still fire at you. This looks like a mini Star Destroyer, to be honest. I am not quite sure what else to call it. But they were just placeholder models. This one doesn't have any auto turrets on it from what I saw. Sometimes my targeting thing is getting messed up whenever I look at them. So if we look at the Star Destroyer next, it's a little bit more fleshed out, but mostly it's still a flat texture on the surface. Little bit of detail underneath, but overall pretty plain compared to what we get in the final game. These are able to be destroyed, and the engines are also able to be destroyed on both ships like in the final game. If you look and see, these have the same turrets on the outside that I assume that you can pilot from the inside. And now this one too also has two hangars, and we're going to come in here and we're going to land. Now, how they handled this before was there's just a barrier here, and I actually got out one time on the other side of the barrier and had to respawn. It's not that big of a deal, except for the fact that you can get too close, kind of like in the final game where there's a glitch where you can get outside the ship. It runs along the same idea here. I think it's pretty cool. We have a TIE fighter here that's under repair. On the repair station, I don't believe you can pilot this one. All of the other ones here are able to be piloted. Here's another repair station type thing. If we keep going towards the light, no, Phantom, don't go towards the light. I'm actually going to look down because bright light warning. Until I get past the light, it's bugged. But once we look back up, we can see that this is the area where you would probably consider the auto turret, or in the main game, the auto turret defenses would be. But here's your remote turret terminals that don't work right. And this is where people would sit if they wanted to fire on the ships on the outside and the turrets. And by coming over to the other side, we can clearly see that it's got the same layout on this side. And a couple more fighters to work with. Now there's one more thing I wanted to show, and I believe this has been done in mod maps, maybe not, but early on, you see all these moving asteroids? Boom! It's been so satisfying for me to be able to destroy these. Psychofred was telling me that they made one map that was just these asteroids where you go and blow them up like the Asteroids game. And now, if you remember, Space Coruscant is only accessible during the campaign, but there were many iterations of it. Like, it was really one of the main selling points for Battlefront 2. Oh, look, space battles. And I always wondered why they didn't add it as just a regular assault mode map. But, you know what? We'll live with what we get. So this is how the Republic ship is laid out. You can tell that they really didn't intend for you to be back here yet. What this was mainly meant to do is to get these shields working and to get objectives working. See, the objectives aren't even fleshed out yet. I did use the original scripts that Psychofred had and modified them slightly to get them to work on the retail version of the game. But if you come down here and destroy these communications arrays on either side, they don't actually do anything, other than make the objective marker go away. I did go through and destroy them all, nothing happens, but that's not the real reason we're here anyway. So you can see that unlike in the retail game, this hangar is actually open, and we're going to actually come in here and we can land. If you pick the correct spot, you can land. The landing zones on this map are very particular. You have to land at a certain spot because they just weren't fleshed out. It wasn't intended for you to be able to get back here yet. And there is a command post back here, but it's not capturable at all. It's just kind of here. So we're going to flip on over. And because I have this modified, we can spawn as the CIS. So we're going to spawn as a droid marine and get a little bit of this plain ground texture here with some gray alternated in. We're going to assume this was just a placeholder texture, really. Nothing crazy about it. If you come back here, it's kind of the same situation as the Republic ship, where there's an area with a command post, but nothing has been fleshed out yet. There's no turrets. There's no auto turrets. There's nothing like that. However, we can get over here and use the droid starfighters with a nice bugged effects. And let's go. You'll also notice that there are two more landable CIS ships back here. This one supposedly has a command post, but once again, you can't capture it. And then there's one over here. Neither of them have ships. They're just here kind of as a reminder that they were going to do something like this. But they were going to do something with multiple capital ships, and then they ended up deciding against it. I have later versions of this map that were used in the demos, but this is before the demo even came to fruition. So that's why nothing really works completely as it should. Maybe I'll show some later versions of this demo over on my Twitch channel. But for right now, this is what I have working and running. If you like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos, and hopefully we'll get to see more Battlefront 2 content soon. Thanks so much, and have a great day.